Hey everybody, it's Jason Blah here, and I'm just sitting here drinking my morning coffee. Got a hook grip on the cup, hook grip every rep. And today thought I would talk with you guys a little bit about something that was sent to me. A subscriber by the name of Ryan saw in the Kinobody group that one of Kinobody's followers had uploaded a video of himself doing incline dumbbell presses. And here's the problem, guys. This is kind of why I say that it is important for fitness YouTubers to teach proper technique and form so that people don't get hurt, so that they know how to perform exercises. And if we don't do so, and we use really terrible, dangerous form on stuff, people will tend to imitate it, and then we cause a chain reaction of injuries and problems and everything else. So let me just flip this in real quick. All right, and yeah, it doesn't matter who this person is. I don't have the part with their name and everything in it because that doesn't matter. Which is not about this person. This will probably be shared maybe hopefully in that group, and then hopefully those people will start to understand what we're talking about here and why they need to be careful following guys like even Kinobody. I'm surprised that Alan, that's Craig Gallagher's name, I'm surprised that Alan hasn't gotten hurt yet with the way he's doing stuff. Eventually he's going to damage a rotator cuff, he's going to tear a pec, he's going to have a problem if he keeps doing what he's doing with the weight he's doing. It's a matter of time. The problem is the collateral damage and the blowback they're going to have in terms of other people imitating it who are going to get hurt. And this guy's a perfect example. He is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Because we will get into in a minute the actual technique breakdowns, but one of the things that's already bizarre, and you see a lot of guys do this with dumbbell presses, they're not even going even close to full range of motion. They're doing a shorter range of motion than they would do with a barbell. Now, people who watch my channel, you guys know this already. Why do people do dumbbell presses for their chest? What is the actual real reason why this exercise has benefits? Like, why would you ever do this over a barbell? No, it's not because of even loading of the sides. That is not why. In fact, the same technique mistakes that cause you to get an imbalance with a barbell will cause the exact same, if not a worse, imbalance with dumbbells. Actually, in some cases, dumbbells have the potential to create an even larger imbalance on exercises like this. Some people say, what? I don't understand. Why? Because they allow for more uneven range of motion. They allow for even more elbow or hand kicking further out. At least with the barbell, your hands are fixed into place. And unless you shift over, you're not going to have one hand go further out than the other, which will again create completely different tension. Because the bar will generally, when you touch your chest, it's going to be fairly even. There's no chance of one side going lower than the other. When you're doing dumbbells, and particularly if you're not touching the delts, on the dumbbell on each rep, you're allowing for an inch or two difference in a range of motion, particularly at the bottom where the most tension is created, a larger amount of the muscle growth is stimulated, right? Because again, you have more mechanical tension at the bottom. It actually has a higher chance of imbalance, particularly if you don't go all the way down. Or again, you allow either the arm to kick even 1 inch out further than the other. You can completely avoid that with a barbell just by centering it when it touches your chest. That can be completely avoided because, again, you'll feel it shifting both hands. It won't be just one hand, particularly when you start to grind. And that's exactly what happened. And so, honestly, in my opinion, and it's common sense if you look at the mechanics of it, dumbbells actually have a greater potential for muscle imbalance. So there goes that myth. So why do we do them? Get a deeper range of motion. A dumbbell isn't going to be limited by your chest getting in the way. You can come lower down. You can get your hands, even when it touches your delt up here, below the rib cage. You can get a couple of inches of deeper stretch. In some cases, you might even get up to 4 inches. Now, that's going to depend on the person's structure, the angles, everything involved. But for some people, you might get up to 4 inches deeper on the range of motion at the bottom so that you get a deeper stretch on the chest. You can get a better myotatic reflex, right? That's why people do dumbbell chest presses, if they actually are doing them for a real reason besides because they saw someone do it on the internet and they think it's going to give even training on each side. That's the real reason they're done by even coaches really good coaches who know biomechanics. You get a deeper stretch on the chest. If you're doing a partial rep, you're getting zero benefits from doing a dumbbell. All you're doing is risking injury and risking larger amounts of imbalances, because it's not touching your chest, or touching your delts with it almost coming all the way down, creates a higher chance and a higher probability of muscular imbalance unilaterally, left or right. So there's already problems here. He's already not using the exercise for the intended purpose, which is a deeper stretch. And now I would argue with the incline, most guys can get a pretty deep stretch on the incline bench press. That's the only reason we would look at an incline barbell and say, well, in some cases it might allow to help someone bring up a lagging chest. Because normally it would be a delt exercise more so because of the upward angle. But because you can get that deeper stretch on the chest, a lot of times deeper than you can do with a barbell, particularly because if you're trying to avoid rotator cuff damage and things, you're usually going to arch anyways. You're going to have a little bit of arch on a flat bench. You're not going to do it flat backed. That's actually riskier on your shoulders. So you end up losing some range of motion. The incline will generally allow for a little more range of motion, so a deeper stretch already on the chest. So just using an incline barbell for a lot of people who are having an issue there will resolve the issue and help bring up a lagging chest, even though the angle itself might be more conducive for training front delts, anterior deltoids. All right. You see where we're going with this, though. He's doing it wrong. And then the other problem, again, how do you press correctly? Any sort of press you do, you need to have some tucked elbows at the bottom. Why? Reduces wrist to the shoulder. It removes the ability to have internal rotation of the shoulder. Now, when you use a barbell, you tuck by bringing it lower down on the chest. Now, if it's an incline, if you bring it, again, maybe to right here instead of up here on the neck, it will go ahead and tuck the elbows, and you'll get you'll help avoid that internal rotation of the shoulder. That internal rotation of the shoulder is what damages the shoulder joint. But instead, he's kicked way up. He's got his elbows flared like this. They're way out. They're flared. This is how you get internal rotation of the shoulder. And then to avoid getting a deep internal rotation, he's stopping short at the bottom. He's a good 8 inches short of the bottom of the range of motion because the way he's doing them doesn't allow for it. Right? He's up here like this, and he knows if he goes all the way down, it's going to damage his shoulder, especially using a weight he can't handle. Using a weight he can't handle. He's not strong enough to do the full range of motion with those. But how do we get elbow tuck at the bottom of the dumbbell? Simple. You turn your hand. If you turn those dumbbells to a 45 degree and you're basically making a triangle, you tuck automatically because your hands are like this, versus if they're like this, you can't tuck up there. But if you do this, it allows you to use the same bar path you would use with a barbell when you touch lower down, which causes the elbows to tuck. So you're just automatically put into that position. That's the correct way to do that. And some guys who have serious rotator cuff issues have to go all the way like this. Guys who already have rotator cuff issues sometimes need to use the fully hammer grip like this and come all the way down, right? And there are a few guys out there who have to do that. There are guys who have to do that. So what we have here is someone who has been taught by Kinobody to do an incline dumbbell completely incorrectly in a dangerous manner. And then people say, well, see, you shouldn't be worried about what guys are teaching people as far as the technique and how to perform an exercise. Worry about yourself. But then you see their followers uploading their videos, trying to imitate their terrible, dangerous form, and they're going to get themselves hurt. They're going to get themselves hurt. And this is a perfect example. And again, when people don't understand the purpose of an exercise or why you would go from a conventional exercise to another one, because I'll be the first one to say, look, there are legitimate reasons sometimes, particularly for bringing up a weak point, why a person would move away from the regular conventional barbell exercises that I preach over and over and over. There are reasons why. There are sometimes benefits and for bringing up a lagging body part or a weak point, and that could be from a performance perspective, not just an aesthetic one. There are reasons to move away from conventional exercises, but you don't do them randomly. You need to understand the benefit of what is it you're going to get out of that other exercise that you're not going to get out of just a regular barbell exercise. Like, what are you going to get out of that exercise that a flat bench with a barbell or a standing press isn't going to give you? And you need to understand that. In this case, this person's doing it because the person teaching him, who he's following him, doesn't seem to actually understand the purpose of the exercise. It's to get the deeper stretch on the chest. It allows for a longer range of motion. But doing it in the manner they're doing it, you can't get the full range of motion without hurting yourself. So it's become a completely useless and ineffective exercise. This guy would actually probably get better results just doing a barbell flat bench. He would gain more muscle even in his chest, including his upper chest, versus what he's doing, and he'd have a lower injury risk. So again, we need to understand why other exercises that are not your regular conventional lifts are done, because they have purposes. They're used even by very respected, very well-educated coaches for a specific reason. But if you don't understand that reason, you won't necessarily execute it correctly, and therefore you're not wasting time and goofing off in the gym, and in this case risking getting yourself hurt and risking muscle imbalances. Complete nonsense. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.